Good morning, everybody. It's sort of a pretty day and sort of a crazy week, and it just seems to get colder and colder, but we don't care because when I'm with actually one of my favorite people in the world, restaurant and not, I think I was one of the first people to ever get to meet Justin Cucci when you came to Denver. And good morning, Justin.
Good morning, and I can only say the same thing back. Right before the show, I was just talking to my wife about I have very few people that I put on that favorite person island, and you're one of them.
Yeah, I don't do that either.
Yeah, thrilled to be able to talk to you and talk to your audience. And
Okay, first restaurant was Root Down. How long ago did it open?
yeah, Root Down 2008, so we're going on almost 15 years. I know it's a long time.
Before Root Down opened.
Yeah, we met I think at Steuben's. We had lunch together before it even opened, and it feels so long ago, but it also is so clear in my mind. So 15 years ago, Root Down, and then Linger is going on 11, maybe 12 years, and yeah, all of them are getting older, like kids.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. I got really old, and my kids are really old too. I don't even discuss their age. It tells you how old I am.
People will do the math.
Yeah, you don't have. I do tell my age. L5 is what now?
L5 is 6 years, I think, going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
So those, and then Ophelia's came.
Yeah, Ophelia is about 7 years old, and Vital, I think, is about 6 also. They're sort of overlapping, it's remembering 5 kids' age. So that's the
restaurant. But you have 5 wonderful children.
Yeah.
Each different. I mean, I don't know where to begin. I want to talk about all the restaurants. But okay, let's start with that. Which restaurants? I can go through all of them because it isn't like I've never been. But is there anything? Well, they're very different. Root Down is.
Yeah, Root Down is I think you would say New American, but it's really with a heart of vegetable focused. And I think it's really a little whimsical and fun. We're not trying to be too serious, but we take what we do very seriously. And it's in this old 1950s gas station. The design elements are reclaimed basketball floor and an old bowling alley is the bar top. And we just have a lot of fun with that old building. And then Linger was the next one. And Linger is just sort of an ode to street food, just street food from around the world. So you'll find a lot of different stops on the menu. It's not fusion. It's really trying to be traditional to the food you'd find when you travel and you're, eating street food, which is sometimes the most accurate representation of a culture is sometimes the food you eat on the street, not in fancy restaurants.
And if you go to someplace, you should eat street food and see what it's really like.
Definitely. That's like a rule that I try and tell everybody is like start on the street and then end up at your hotel afterwards. So that's in an old mortuary of all things. It's a, sort of a repurposed building that's now a restaurant. And we have a beautiful rooftop deck and we have a food truck actually on the roof and also what we call a bar V, which is really an old RV that we turned into a bar. Next, we have Ophelia's, which is in an 1890s beautiful building downtown. It used to be a brothel. It used to be a adult video library, a peep show. It had a very sordid past. But now we're basically a live music venue, but we're also a restaurant and a bar. And we have live music usually 4 to 5 nights a week. And we do a really fun brunch. There'll be like DJ themed brunches or like jazz brunches or bluegrass brunches. So we have a lot of fun programming music and food together. Next is Vital Root. Vital Root is a fast, casual vegetarian. It's 100% gluten-free. All the restaurants are very focused on trying to make things gluten-free, trying to bring vegan food, trying to bring allergy awareness to, the staff and to the guests. So that one is, really like 100% gluten-free. We're certified, which is a really rare thing.
I did not know that.
Yeah, we actually just got certified earlier this year, and I don't think we ever let people know, but we were very proud to do it because there's a lot of, stringent rules to be gluten-free. And so that's in an old candy shop. It used to be Mountain Man Candies and Nuts. And now it's basically a vegetarian restaurant. Then comes L5. It's on top of this building, which is the highest building currently in Lohi. So you have views of the city
It's
uninterrupted. It's
I
stunning.
adore every one of them, but the views from L5 are unbelievable. And the views of the cranes, even more.
Yeah, I know it does look like a little, construction like out there, but I have traveled. I've been in restaurants that overlook, and I have to say, objectively and subjectively, this is one of the most beautiful views of
I agree.
not only Denver, but the other side, we have all of the mountains. So there's really almost 360 degrees of view of the city side and the mountain side. And that is
And
it.
you do have food to match.
We do. Yeah. Our food is very, Spanish. It's paella, it's tapa, it's also mez and small plates. And it's really celebrating the region around the Mediterranean, not just the big hitters like Italy and Spain. And
I don't even think of Italy and Spain. I just think of
yeah, but
paella.
Morocco,
Yeah.
Lebanon, Turkey, all the beautiful, Israel, all the beautiful countries around there that have such different kinds of food. We try and kind of have a love letter to all that food in that area. And yeah, the view and the food, I think, is just really top notch.
Yeah, it really. I remember when Danny Meyer from New York came and said it was better than any restaurant he had ever been in.
Nice.
Which I tend to think he might be right. And you have to, I know you're embarrassed when I say you're a genius, when you figure out not only incredible menus and service, but the ambiance in every place is just unreal.
That's something, thank you. I think it's really a lot of people collaborate on it. And I think at the end of the day, I just feel like I'm a good collaborator, and I try and, take information in and opinions and decide how to, express those as best I can. I think the experience is, on the same par as food and hospitality. I think there's a lot of places I go where food is most important, hospitality second, and then the ambiance just seems to fall off the list. But I've always wanted to, my memory of restaurants in New York has always been these places that have just transformed me, whether it's, took me out of my life in the moment, transformed me to another place. And so I really wanted these restaurants to feel like you're going and having an experience, even before you eat the food or have, a server talk to you.
I agree, and you do a fabulous job. Of all the things you have done, all right, you have to explain the latest thing that you've done, which I think is the most unbelievable. I've never heard of another restaurateur who has done this. Okay, tell all.
Okay, so in small businesses, or even big business, right? As a business, you have an opportunity if you would want to, turn your business into an employee-owned business. And after COVID, we've been working on it for 4 or 5 years, so it wasn't a COVID byproduct, but we wanted to be an ESOP, which stands for Employee Stock Option Plan. And basically what that is it's selling the business to the employees for $0. The employees don't have to put any money in. The way they benefit is they work at the restaurant, and then as they put their sweat equity in, they put their hard work in, they earn shares through tenure and time. Well, I guess that's maybe the same thing. And so basically we converted from a regular S Corp into an ESOP. And now the employees are the owners. I'm no longer an owner, I'm proud to say, but I am still the CEO, and I still run the restaurants. And if you worked at the restaurants, you wouldn't notice a change when we turned into an ESOP. It's not like all of a sudden there's a boardroom with 50 people in it and every decision is belabored over. We run EdibleBeats exactly the way we did before. That hasn't changed. But the difference is every employee that's part of the ESOP benefits from our growth, benefits from our, profit, and hopefully over time is going to benefit people's lives in ways that normally doesn't happen in the restaurant industry.
Has anybody else done this? Because I haven't heard.
So when I was doing some research about it, that was the first thing I asked is, what are the restaurants? And I think there's 2 others that I know of and my team knows of in the country. It's a very small group. And so I feel proud to take an industry that sometimes chews people up. It sometimes doesn't offer some of the bigger picture benefits that other careers do. Now, obviously, health insurance is mandated, but whether it's 401k whether it's certain benefits to your lifestyle. And we've done those things prior. We had a 401k plan, and we put into place a benefits plan so that if you wanted to join a gym or certain groceries or certain things that your life needed, that we have enrollment for people to get reimbursed for those things. But they help in the here and now. And to me, what an ESOP is, it's trying to create worth and value in the work that people do. And so there's a long-term, kind of roadmap for us as we grow, that the employees will be, invested, and they're owners. It gives everybody opportunity.
Leave. I want a job, but I can't imagine ever leaving.
I want to give you one example of an ESOP. There's some in the East Coast that I know of, like Publix. And I will say, when I lived on the East Coast, and I lived in Florida and Key West, I shopped at Publix, and I never knew why. I just like the people more. I like the way their business ran, and they're an ESOP. Another ESOP is Southwest. And I know after what's happened in December, they might not be the best examples, but I've been flying Southwest for years because everybody seems invested in what they do. They seem to care more. And it's because they're also an ESOP. Now, those are big business examples of it. But, an ESOP can be a small business. There's only 7,000 ESOPs in the country out of 32 million small businesses. So it's a very minute portion of businesses that have chosen to be an ESOP. 35 million, and only 7,000 are ESOPs. That was the current spec I saw last year. Very small group. So it felt right for me because so many people on my team, so many of the people who, when you come in the restaurants, the servers, the cooks, the hosts, dishwashers, they're doing the heavy lifting. I get to have fun at this point of my career, and they're really doing the heavy lifting. And so I wanted to find a way to, maybe give back more than I take, and this ESOP just felt like a really great way to do that. And it's not all altruistic. It's not like this was giving the employees the business. There's a way that the ESOP works so that over time, it's sort of like a retirement plan for me. They buy the business from me over the years. And again, they don't put in any money. Every employee gets their shares without any money put in. But over time, the business pays off, the ESOP, and it's like a win-win. It really is the proverbial win-win.
Wow. I can't imagine not wanting to work there, and the people I see who do work. So you're talking about no matter if it's a waitress as well or something like that, or the girl who seats me.
Yep. Anybody, everybody.
The guy at the desk downstairs at L5 who deals with those hideous thousands of people who come running in and want to get on the same elevator.
Yeah, the nice thing about an ESOP is it is pretty universal for the employees. The only things they have to meet are certain expectations of, there's a vesting period. So when we became an ESOP, everybody who was working that day automatically became part of the ESOP. But now if you're hired, there's a year waiting period. And, because sometimes it's not a good fit for somebody and it just doesn't work out. But after that year, there's a 5-year vesting schedule. So every year they get 20% of their stock each year for 5 years. And after 5 years, they're fully vested. And that's it. It's a pretty simple plan for that. That's not some, you have to be there 25 years before you're eligible. I think in our industry, 5 years is a long time. But, when you're building something in your life, sometimes playing the long game is how you build those things. It took me a while to figure that out too.
No, I believe that, but I just think the whole thing is unbelievable. I do want you to just point out, because when I asked you before we started to record, I said, "Are you home?"
Yes.
And what is that behind you at home? She asked.
So I am home. This is my little office with computer, and I'm such a visual person, and having 5 restaurants, and I also feel like my team of people are so inspiring with their ideas that it's like we do a lot of brainstorming. So behind me is sort of my idea board or my action item board, because it's easy to forget sometimes. I'm brainstorming and we all agree this is the best idea. Now I might a week later be at the other restaurant and have another great idea. I don't want to forget the idea from the week before. And, honestly, COVID was challenging and is still challenging. And we've evolved and we've pivoted, and we have to find a way to be a better business more than ever, because minimum wage in Denver is one of the highest in the country.
Right.
That's Denver specific. Cost of goods has never been higher. I feel like I've never worked harder to just tread water. You know, usually when you work hard, you see the results, and I don't always see those results. I believe it. I'm an optimist in my business, and I think you have to have that. So this is my board so that we can keep pivoting and keep trying to be a better restaurant.
Well, I have yet to figure out how you figure out most of the menus. I mean, I see some of the dishes like, well, I go to all of your restaurants and adore them all. But like last time I was at L5, and every time there's new appetizers or small plates and things, you know, who figures out how to make that mushroom thing with all this?
Right.
Who figures this out?
Well, I think that's a testament to our culture of collaboration, because you know, really it's basically, I have amazing, you know, executive chefs who have great teams. And then I'm also the, you know, the sort of executive producer, if you will. So I collaborate with the chefs. They give me tastings. Then sometimes I plant ideas in their head. Sometimes the dish is perfect and I say, go with it. Sometimes I say, well, I don't think that's really where I want it to be. Let's try it 3 more ways. And so it's just a process of collaboration, which is why I think when we're successful, it's in a way that I think is, you know, at a high level, because ideas of one person are limited. You know, everybody has their own sort of boxes and their own filter. But when I get in a room with a couple of chefs and we start talking about how to make the dish better and different perspectives, I feel like that just is inspiring to all of us. And I think we all work harder to make the best possible food. And that's, I think, what it is. It's just collaboration. But first and foremost, it's the executive chefs and their teams that, you know, again, do the heavy lifting.
Well, I think you're going to get an Oscar. So the Academy Awards are coming up. What are you doing? Well, are all of them? No, they're not all of them the same times. They're doing the same things.
Yeah, I mean, you mean in terms of like business hours?
Yeah, well, you do brunch at, I guess,
Ophelia's, Linger, and Root Down are our brunch, you know, sort of showcase. Each of them does really busy brunches. We have fun with brunch. Brunch is just such a great meal. And
I do wish we do brunch Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yeah, we used to, but you know, we used to do Friday brunches, and at Linger we would be Tuesday through Sunday. But it, you know, like I said, there's been a lot of challenges to be what we were.
You can't afford eggs.
Well, eggs are definitely on that list.
Okay, and then do you do lunches at all?
Oh yeah, so only Vital Root is open for lunches. All the other restaurants have no lunch. And dinner 7 days a week for all the restaurants. So different hours. Most are, you know, 5 to 9 or 5 to 10 during the week, and then 5 to 11 or 10 during the weekends. And all that's available on EdibleBeats.com, or each restaurant has its own website: Vital Root Denver, Linger Denver, RootDownDenver.com.
And and now holidays are coming, like Valentine's. You always celebrate those.
Yeah, well, we're going to be in Restaurant Week, so each restaurant should be posted, I think, next week on the Restaurant Week website.
I don't even know when Restaurant Week is. When is Restaurant Week?
You're asking also the wrong person. I think.
Okay, well, 2 people. Look it up, guys, if you're curious.
Look it up. And we do special menus, so you can come in for a 3-course menu, and our price range is either $35, I think, at Linger. I think Root Down is $45, and I forget what L5 is, but it's a 3-course dinner. It's really great. And then otherwise, Valentine's Day, we do special menus at Root Down, Linger, and L5. And Vital Root and Ophelia's do Valentine's specials, but the Root Down, Linger, and L5 are all prefixed menus. So those are available on the website as well, or you can always call in. We're happy to walk you through it. And that's a 5-course dinner. And of course, you can get wine pairings. We also do cocktail pairings at Linger with the food. And those are great special menus. You know, we wait all year to do a menu with some really special stuff on there. And then one other thing I'll throw out there, which I don't think I've told you yet, but have just started. We've been working on this about 2 years. It's something called a farm box, and it's a 40-foot container, just like a shipping container. And it's repurposed into basically a hydroponic, solar-powered, organic vertical garden. And what that means with all those fancy words is we have a temperature-controlled room that has all these sort of shelves and movable walls, and we can grow food in there 365 days a year. So
Where
we're
is
growing food.
where is it?
It's in the back of Vital Root. There's a big container back there, and we're growing lettuces, herbs, peppers, tomatoes. We're growing these in this garden, and we're going to be now growing our own food in the city, and having it showcased on the restaurant menus.
Wow,
Yeah, I'll send you a picture.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me I could order a box,
Uh,
deliver a box of good stuff. No, not that big. That
big box, 40
No,
foot long.
no. This box delivered to your house every week.
That would be cool.
Don't go to the store. You know what, Justin, from day one, you never cease to amaze me. If anybody gets to know you, you and your family are fabulous, wonderful friends and people. But you do a job in restaurants like none other. I mean, to me, you're a genius, but I know you get upset if I say that, but you are. So
I appreciate that. And yeah, I feel very fortunate, and I have a lot of gratitude for what I do and who I do it with and the friends I share it with. And so, just a lot of gratitude goes into it. And I don't, want to ever take it for granted.
and hard work.
Yeah.
And everybody who happens to be watching, please like and subscribe to the Gabb, G-A-B-B, on YouTube. You'll see this on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and it's ediblebeats.com is the easiest way. EDIBLEBEATS.
Like a music beat, not a food beat, but yes.
And from day one to whenever, you are incredible, and I love you dearly.
I love you 100% back. So
Okay, thank
mutual.
you. Have a wonderful cold weekend, and go to brunch and watch the ball games, and everybody just be well. Much love. Thank you. Bye-bye, y'all.